Great seers of ancient India have talked about the supreme swan or the Paramahamsa. Born with the ability to fly minutes after it pushes itself through its shell, this supreme swan soars into the sky without touching the ground. People of great spiritual realization have always been called supreme swans or Paramahamsas, for they attain the state of inner bliss and enlightenment before getting caught in the web of world's reality. They are enlightened souls who have received the truth of the universe and communicate it to the rest of humanity. They live in God or the Eternal and inspire us to move in the right direction, to become like them and attain the same state of bliss achieved by them. Through them, millions of people have experienced spiritual upliftment and attained salvation. From time immemorial, India has been the land of spirituality and holiness unmatched by any other country in the world. India has given birth to great Paramahamsas, mystics, saints, and divine avatars who have consistently delivered this world from darkness to light. One such enlightened master, exuding divine grace, overwhelming compassion, and unfathomable spiritual knowledge, all at a very young age, is Paramahamsa Nithyananda.
Koti Surya Swarupinam Ananda Gandha Ishwaram Bhakta Hridaya Nivasinam Nithyanandam Namostude. Koti Surya Swarupinam Ananda Gandha Ishwaram Bhakta Hridaya Nivasinam Nithyanandam Namostude. Neelagandha Pranava Marma Paramahamsa Nithya Raja Raja Dhyana Pita Nitya Puri Bhagavan. Neelagandha Pranava Marma Paramahamsa Nithya Raja Raja Dhyana Pita Nitya Puri Bhagavan. Neelagandha Pranava Marma Paramahamsa Nithya Raja Raja Dhyana Pita Nitya Puri Bhagavan.
One of India's most enduring personalities, he has won the hearts of millions with his simple philosophy of eternal bliss and meditation as the true path to self-realization. Working towards a society of bliss, his simple teachings and meditation techniques work towards creating an atmosphere of equal vision, balanced mind, righteousness, cosmic love, divine knowledge, spiritual upliftment, better emotional health, and creativity in every walk of life to realize one's own self. Nithyananda was born as Rajashekharan, the second son of his parents Arunachalam and Lokanayaki, in the temple town of Tiruvannamalai, South India. Tiruvannamalai literally means Tiru Annamalai, or revered inaccessible mountain. In Sanskrit, this mountain is termed as Arunachala, or the unmoving morning star. This town, in a remote corner of Tamil Nadu, boasts of an unbroken lineage of enlightened masters for over 2000 years. Or should we say, continues to be the final destination for those in the quest of truth. Arunagirinathar, Virupakshadevar, Ramana Maharishi, all hail from Tiruvannamalai and are revered even today for their supreme efforts in reinforcing the power of faith in the Supreme Being and self-realization. 10 days after he was born, the family astrologer predicted that Rajashekaran would grow up to become a Raja Sannyasi and guide the world, something his parents were not happy to hear. At the age of 10, Rajashekaran was initiated by Raghupati Yogi. In his moment of initiation, Rajashekaran was blessed with a vision of Parashakti. He went home and carved the vision he had in soapstone. Mataji Kuppamal, a deeply pious friend of his grandmother, nurtured his growing consciousness with apparent insight into Rajashekaran's greatness. One day, Rajashekaran was found etching a complex shape on a copper foil. It was the sacred Shri Chakra. The Shri Chakra is believed to be a diagrammatic representation of the cosmos. Sri Ramana Maharishi, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Sharada Devi were sources of inspiration for young Rajashekaran. At the age of 12, on the sacred day of Buddha Purnima, Rajashekaran had an intense encounter with the divine, an out-of-body experience that was to change the course of his life. By his 17th year, Rajashekaran's spiritual quest became too fierce to be ignored. He left home on a journey of arduous self-discovery with no assurance whatsoever, but only a glimpse of the divine he received at the age of 12. He wandered far and wide, studying and practicing meditation, from Tapovan in the Himalayas to Kanyakumari in the south, from Dwarka in the west to Ganga Sagar in the east. He wandered for 7 years in India and in Nepal. With just 2 pieces of clothing and a kamandalu, a holy water jug, and with no idea of where his next meal would be. One day in Gaurikund, he beheld a breathtaking vision. A young man with a glowing countenance and flowing locks was walking towards him with long strides and divine grace. Wonderstruck and gazing at him, Rajashekaran realized that this was none other than Mahavdar Babaji, the enlightened master dwelling in the Himalayas for thousands of years in perpetual youth. It was this great saint who looked at him and uttered the name Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda, an enlightened being in a physical body, young at heart but wise in mind. Rajashekaran undertook years of rigorous penance, intense meditation practices, and in-depth study of yoga, tantra, Vedanta, and Shaiva philosophies before he attained the ultimate state of consciousness, the state of Nithyananda, or eternal bliss. Word of the charismatic saint rode the winds in every direction. People visited Nithyananda from far and near. Effortlessly, he won their hearts. The time had come, and Nithyananda was ready to execute the real purpose of his divine birth, the purpose as a guru. as a master to the entire humanity. Guided by divine vision, Nithyananda soon reached Bidadi on the outskirts of Bangalore, where he found the place of his ashram. 20 acres and a 600-year-old sacred banyan tree, as revealed in his vision, he spotted without a doubt. On that divine soil, on January 1st, 2003, was inaugurated Nithyananda.mp4, his movement for meditation and inner transformation. Nithyananda.mp4 stands on the divine soil on which this mission of compassion has come alive. The ambience is a perfect blend of tradition and modernity. The lifestyle of the ashramites speaks of a revival of the ancient Vedic system. Life Bliss Foundation is his worldwide movement to spread his message of meditation and inner bliss. With its spiritual nerve center in Bangalore, India, and its Western Hemisphere headquarters in Los Angeles, USA, it operates through 1,000 centers and over 78 upcoming ashrams in 30 countries, causing transformation of humanity through transformation of the individual. Paramahamsa Nithyananda, today just 30 years of age, is an inspiring personality and enlightened master of our times. In this world, ravaged by greed, violence, terror and fear, we fall prey to the stress and strains of the outer world, while the inner self cries to be understood. We are not just citizens or passport holders. Deep within, transcending our social personality, is the core of our being, is the divine energy which is our true nature. Time and again, masters have emerged to show the way and demystify the very purpose of existence. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is one such realized master.
Person who creates formula to reproduce the understandings of the outer world. For example, Newton understood something in his life. He created a formula to reproduce the same understanding to every being, to every human being. Person who creates formula to reproduce the understandings and truths of the outer world is a scientist. Same way, person who creates formula to reproduce the experiences And the truth of the inner world is a Paramahamsa. Scientists create formulas, Paramahamsas they create meditation techniques. They create meditation techniques to reproduce the same understanding, same experience, same enlightenment which happened in them, same bliss which happened in them.
How does one describe this great master? The charm of a child, the healing hands of a doctor, the compassion of a mother, the wisdom of a guru. To those who struggle under the many burdens of life, His presence itself is the answer they seek. In His arms, thousands find refuge, the ailing, the needy, and the seekers of God. The Master is an invitation to a journey inwards. In His own words, "Just allow me to light your being, then you will know that you are pure consciousness and your being pure bliss."
People continuously ask me, "So are you God?" Again and again tell them, "I am not here to prove I am God. I am here to prove you are God."
Nityam Sharanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, Anandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nityam Sharanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, Anandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Sharanam Gacchami.
Nityam Charanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Charanam Gacchami, Anandam Charanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Charanam Gacchami. Nityam Charanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Charanam Gacchami, Anandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Sharanam Gacchami.
Nityam Sharanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, Anandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Sharanam Gacchami. Nityam Sharanam Gacchami, Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, Anandam Sharanam Gacchami, Nithyanandam Sharanam Gacchami.
Nityam Charanam Gacchami. स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे. स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे. स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे. स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दम्.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Escape into life. We all know escaping from life. Every magazine you open, every newspaper you open, continuously you will see advertisements to escape from life. Advertisements of resorts, holiday resorts, vacation beaches, hotels. All of them are constantly telling you to escape from life. But I am saying escape into life. Concept about life, if it is clear, then we will know what I mean by the word escape into life. Life is not the fight between your two identities. You carry two identity. Identity which you show to the outer world, which you want the world to believe as you, and the identity which you carry in the inner world as you. See, the identity which you show to the outer world will always be much more than what you are, because you are constantly taught how to sell yourself. It will be little more than what you are. It will always be more than what you are. And the identity which you carry in the inner world and you believe it as you will be always less than what you are. That is why you are constantly fighting with you. Identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you believe as you in the inner world. Our life is nothing but struggle between these two. The fight between these two. Struggle between these two is what I call tension or stress. If you think this is life, then you have to escape from life. But this is not life. Life is the space. Life is the energy where these two identities do not exist. One beautiful thing is when these two identities meet with each other, when they are connected to each other, both of them disappear. They can be alive as long as the gap is there in between both of them. The identity which you show to the outer world and the identity which you believe as you in the inner world. These two identities will exist only as long as there is a gap between these two. Means you should not be a person whom you are projecting to the outer world. If you integrate both of them, suddenly you will see both of them disappear and you are escaping into life. Ramakrishna says beautifully, the moment you integrate your heart and the words, man muk ek karo, in Bengali says, your being and the word, when both of them are connected, integrated, you are liberated. The two identities, the identity which you show to the outer world, how we want to be recognized, it will always be more than what we are. An identity which we believe as in the inner world, it will always be lower than what we are. You always calculate about yourself only based on your weakest actions. You remember only the failures. The identity we use in Sanskrit, we have two words in Sanskrit. Ahankar, Mamakar. Ahankar is one which we project to the outer world. Mamakar, which we believe as in the inner world. The fight between these two is what I call mind or ego. If you lived only with your mind, then you have to escape from life. But if you know the life is beyond these two, ahankar and mamakar, then you have to escape into life. Escaping from life, escaping into life, two different things. You all of you must have tried enough of times escaping from life. All of you must have tried enough, because constantly you are bombarded with the advertisements. The moment you switch on the TV, you see photographs, ads. The moment you open the magazines, you see ads. The newspaper, you see ads. Everywhere you see ads with a beautiful swimsuit lying on the beach or the bank of a swimming pool or near a lake in some vacation resort. The photograph is constantly promising you, if you go to that place and lie down, you will be in heaven. See, it's a visual promise given to you. You also tried many times. I think every one of you would have tried at least few times. But it's not happening. And even in your own inner space, when you see those advertisements, when you see a beautiful snow-covered mountain, or a beautiful hill, or a vast ocean, in the photograph, or in the ad, or in TV, you feel, if you go to that place and lie down like that, you'll be in heaven. But when you go there and catch the same chair, same spot, same weather, even the same glass, and lie down, but you are not in heaven. What is happening? Where we are missing? If you look a little deep inside, you will understand. When you see the photograph, when you see those moments in the ad, why you want to go there, why you feel you will be in heaven if you go there, but if you go there physically, you don't feel that same thing. If you look a little deep, you will understand why. Actually, deep down, all of us want to go away somewhere where nobody knows us, where you don't need to hold on to your identity for your survival, where you don't need to constantly protect, hold on, keep that identity like a shield. See, your identity is, in the initial level you created it for protection as a shield, but by and by, because you don't know how to relax from it, it has become prison. If you know the door is open, this is a room. If you don't have the key and it is locked, this is prison. Identity also, you built it to be a home. But by and by, when you don't know how to relax from it, it has become prison. So deep down, all of us have the craving to go away somewhere where you don't need to hold on to your identity. You don't need to constantly protect yourself with your identity. The desire for vacation is nothing but the desire to be without your identity. If you understand this basic truth, you don't have to escape from life, you can escape into life. Escaping from life, all of you have tried. And if that works out, then why are we sitting in the downtown? If that worked out, we all would have been sitting somewhere in the Himalayas or in the Hawaii beach. Whatever you think is the place to escape from the life. Of course, escaping from the life will not work. How many beaches you find? How many vacation resorts you find? How many mountains you discover? It won't work. Somebody goes to Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi is a great enlightened master who lived in South India. The place is called Arunachala. Fortunately, I am blessed to be born and brought up at his feet in that place. He is a great devotee of that hill. He is a worshipper of that hill. He has sung 108 songs on that hill. He is such a great lover of that hill. One of his followers goes to him and says, Master, this hill is so beautiful, such a high energy. I am so happy that I am here. Bhagavan says, just stay here for 3 days, everything will become all right. Disciple thought Bhagavan will encourage his idea or his praising of this great hill, beautiful place, high energy. Bhagavan said, just stay 3 days. Everything will become all right. Means your mind will come in between. You will start taking things for granted. Even after going to the vacation place, first thing you will do is slowly you will establish your identity to everybody. You will put your visiting cards. Do you know who am I? Do you know who am I? Do you know who am I? Third day you are already in your prison. Now you have to maintain your identity. You can't scratch yourself with both hands. Because again your mind is ready. No, what others will think about me. The desire for vacation is nothing but the desire to escape from the identity. But even the place where you go for vacation, first thing you establish your identity. Then how can you have the vacation? Escaping from life will not work. Escaping into life only will work. Understanding, changing the place will not work. Changing the inner space only will work. Understand the psychology of vacation. Why you really need vacation. Why do you want to escape? Because something is suffocating you. Something is suffocating you. That's the reason you want to escape. Then escape from which suffocates you. Identify first really what is suffocating you. The real suffocation is the identity which you need to carry constantly. That suffocates you, nothing else. Nothing else can suffocate you so much. Then the identity which you are supposed to constantly maintain, live up to it, prove. Identity is beautiful for some time to work with the outer world when there is some need. That's okay. But you should know to relax from it. When you remove your coat and put in the coat stand, same way, learn how to remove your identity and put it in the coat stand. Then you don't need a separate vacation. There is a beautiful aphorism, tantra, beautiful aphorism, sutra, technique in tantra. They say the creativity, ichcha shakti. Creativity is a desire energy. Creativity, the desire energy and creativity, if they are clearly connected to each other, you can't have tiredness or boredom. I am trying to translate exactly from Sanskrit. Let me give you a few more words, maybe you will be able to understand. If you feel boredom, tiredness in your life, means the creativity which is happening in you or the desire energy which is happening in you and the work which you are doing, both are not connected properly. See, directly or indirectly, you are not happy with what you are doing. Means your ahankar and mamakar are not integrated.
your Icha Shakti means the desire energy. Your Kriya Shakti means the energy to do. If they both are connected, clearly integrated, means your inner identity and the outer identity, both of them are connected, then you will not have tiredness or boredom. You don't need vacation. You don't need to escape from life. If there is boredom or tiredness in you, be very clear, the Icha Shakti, the desire energy, and the action, the acting energy, the Kriya Shakti, both are not in tune. Somewhere you are forced to do something which you are not liking, which you are not enjoying. That is why tiredness or boredom comes in your life. Many times I am surprised, how can people get bored? There is so much in life. And just if you sit and watch all the drama which your mind is doing, best entertainment. You don't need any other TV. You don't need anything else to entertain you. Why do we need so much of entertainment from the outer world? Somehow, we just want to escape from the reality which is there. That's the reason so much of entertainment is necessary from the outer world. If you know how to be with yourself, you are the best entertainment. You are the best entertainment for yourself. You don't need a separate entertainment. If you think life is the fight between the identity which you carry in the inner world and the outer world, you need to escape from life. And you tried that. It is not working out. Of course, I tried enough. 9 years I tried. It has not worked out. Escaping from life will not work out. Escaping into life only will work out. When I say escaping into life, drop these two identity. The real life is this moment. Both identities which you are carrying is connected to your past and future. But the life is this moment, your present moment. Maybe I will try to give us some simple diagram about our time and mind. Then I will answer your questions. See, now what I am expressing, look the angle of like a hypothesis. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to disbelieve it. Just try to internalize. If you have any doubt, question, you are welcome. I will spend at least half an hour answering your questions so that we can internalize whatever is expressed. So maybe, will you guys be able to project? Otherwise I will write. I will just write, or I will write directly. How many electronic media may come, still that writing is the best thing. Because it does not need so many engineers. How many engineers does it take to screw up light bulb? Somebody asked me, how many enlightened masters does it take to screw a bulb? I said none, because we don't need light. Let's escape from the laptop first. Huh? Chalo, take it out. Just trying to give a small diagram how the mind works. Maybe then we will see what I mean by the word escape into life. See, your mind or life is nothing but future becoming past. Understand? I am making few statements. If you have any doubt, just pen down the question. Your life as on now is nothing but future becoming past continuously. If your future is becoming past, that's what is time, that's what is time, life. If I take this as a time, the future is just becoming past constantly. The future is becoming past. Are you able to see? I think this group. No, they can't see. Bhakta Priya, just adjust it. This side. Future is just disappearing into past. And the space where the future and past meets, that point is what we call present, this moment. Understand? Constantly your future is disappearing into past. Maybe I can call this as a time shaft. Time is like a shaft, constantly rotating and disappearing into the past. Future is disappearing into past. The point where this future and the past meets is the present moment. Your mind is nothing but jumping between what you know as a life is your mind. Your mind is nothing but jumping between this past and future, constantly jumping between this past and the future. Am I right? You can't have even a single thought if you are in the present moment. Understand? You can't have a single thought if you are in the present moment. Thought means jumping from past to future, future to past. Constant, your mind is actually not noun, it's a verb. It is not noun, it is a verb. It's a constantly jumping. It is jumping from here to there, here to there, here to there. How many times you jump from past to future and future to past, that many number of thoughts you are having every second. Constantly jumping from past to future, future to past. This is the way your mind works. For example, if you are 100 times jumping from past to future, past to future, past to future to past, 100 times if you are jumping per second, you have 100 thoughts per second. But it's not 100, I am just assuming it may be few thousands. Because 100 is too small, few thousands at least. Constantly jumping between past to future, future to past is what we call thoughts. If you are jumping past to future, future to past 100 times per second, I am just taking as an example, 100 times per second, we may call it as a 100 TPS, thoughts per second. 100 thoughts per second, TPS. You see, if you are in 100 TPS means you are away from the present moment. Am I right? You are far away from the present moment. Just jumping, constantly jumping. I think you know what I mean by constantly jumping. If you just try to sit in meditation, that time suddenly you will see whole Bandora box is opening. Everything is coming out. What all you don't want to remember, everything will be there in the front. Anything you say no, it will take revenge on you. Now, that is the basic nature. Anything you try to exclude, that will be there first. in the front. So constantly if you are jumping between past and future, 100 times if you are jumping per second means 100 TPS. So you are completely away from the present moment. For example, sometimes if the TPS comes down, maybe 80 we call it, then you are little near to the present, because this is a present moment where the past, where the future and past meets is the present moment. You are little closer to present moment. If the thoughts per second comes down 60, you are little more closer to the present moment. If it can come down to 0 TPS, you are in present moment. Am I right? If it can come down to 0 TPS, you are in present moment. Coming down to the 0 TPS is all about spirituality. Spirituality is nothing but trying to zero you down. Just bringing you to the 0 TPS is all what we call meditation, spirituality, enlightenment, whatever you may call it. Inner science. Maybe the inner science is the right word. Science for inner transformation. See, in the East, just like in the West, so much of research and development was going on in the outer world, science of outer world. In the East, so much of research and development was going on, the science of the inner world, science of inner transformation. So much of research and development was going on. 10,000 years of research and development, because at least 10,000-year-old literatures we are finding. We are able to discover 10,000-year-old literatures, 10,000-year-old research and development, and at least 1 million inner scientists, and more than 10 million inner science laboratories are still available in India. Every day congregation happens in 10 million inner science laboratories. In India we have temples and ashrams where a congregation happens every day. 10 million means 1 crore, and more than billion people following the technology. The whole thing is aimed at this one point, how to bring you down to 0 TPS. That's all. One more thing, when your TPS is too high, you will neither be clear about your past or future, because you are seeing the past or future from distant, and you are constantly busy in jumping to the other corner, other side. When you are in the past, already you are thinking of the next step. For example, morning when you are out of your bed and when you start brushing, already you are thinking about your office. If you are sitting in the office, already you are thinking about evening beach. If you are sitting in the beach, already you are planning about going back to the home. If you are sitting in the home, you are already started planning about what to do next tomorrow. So one thing is sure, if you are here, you are not here. If you are here, you are not here. We are very clear about it. The past and the future, because you are too busy in jumping, we neither look into the past nor look into the future properly. If your TPS comes down, your vision towards the past and future will become more clear. Understand? Now it may look like a too big promise. If I say, if your TPS comes down, you will experience peace, you can believe. But I am making a statement, if your TPS comes down, you can see your future clearly. Now this looks to be a too big promise. Understand? From this point, you can see only this much, your past, and this much your future. In this point, 80 TPS, you can see little more. If your TPS comes down, you can see little more. In this point, you can see more. When I say, if your TPS, thoughts per second comes down, you can see your past and future more clearly. It may look like a too big promise. For example, let you understand this one example. Sometime when you are in a party, singing and dancing, suddenly you will remember somebody is going to come, or some incident is going to happen. In 5 minutes you will see that person is there. When a telephone rings, suddenly you will remember some friend's name whom you have not seen for last 5 years. When you pick up the phone, he will be there. When a doorbell rings, you remember some relative's name who has not seen you or who has not visited you for 6-7 years. When you open the door, he is standing. How many of you had like this some incident in your life at least once or twice? Raise your hand. God, practically everybody. Understand? You see, when actually this incident happens, what we do in our mind? Coincidence. That's what we tell in our mind, no? That's the way we handle it. Oh, just coincidence, forget about it. If it happens in one person's life once, you can call it as a coincidence. If it can happen in 90% of, if 90% of you have experienced this in your life, how can this be just a coincidence? Surely something more than coincidence. Means, knowingly or unknowingly, those few moments your TPS has dropped. It can drop even by sudden shocks. It can drop even by sudden shock. If you are completely relaxed, really enjoying, TPS can drop. Even by sudden shock it can drop. Sometime that suddenly telephone ringing or doorbell ringing, your TPS can drop. When a TPS drop, you saw the future, just 5 minutes of your future. You saw the future for just a glimpse of future, few minutes. You can't push it aside in the name of coincidence if it is happening in so many lives. If it happens in one person's life once, you can say a coincidence, forget about it. But 90% of the lives, when you try to bring this TPS down, when you come more and more close to the present moment, your idea about your past, even that will become clear. Understand? Now, you don't even know your past completely. You will remember only the incidents which are connected to your engrams, your samskaras, not everything about past. People tell me, Swamiji, we can understand, we will understand our future. How do you say we will understand our past? Don't we know our past? No. You don't know your past as it happened. You know only as you want it. You remember your past only as you want, because you are not fully aware. You are constantly jumping between the past and future, past and future, past and future. One more thing, because you are constantly jumping, you reproduce the same old past into your future. It's like you have in one part some dirty thing, in another one part some good food or sweets or fruits. If some fly is flying between these two constantly, from this dirt to food, what will happen? Whole dirt will settle on the food. Same thing you are doing. When you jump between past and future, past and future, past and future, you reproduce your past into future. You just reproduce your past into future. Maybe you alter a little bit, that's all. See, when you sit in the home and worry, it is homework. When you sit in the office and worry, it is profession. When you sit in the beach and worry, it is vacation, that's all. You may just change the place, but the life is going to be same. Jumping between the past and future constantly you will naturally reproduce the same past into future. People ask me, Swamiji, our future is open or we have something like fate? If you are intelligent enough to interfere, your future is open. If you are not intelligent enough to make conscious decision and interfere, the same programmed CD will go on. It's like a CD player. You have put a CD and that will be constantly playing. If you are intelligent enough to handle it, you can do fast forward, rewind or jump the track or even switch it off. But if you are just keeping quiet, not intelligent enough, it will play the same way till it gets scratched and repeats the same line. The old gramophone records, if you see, sometimes it will not even go to the next line. Doing, doing, doing. So much. It went through the same way, it got scratched. When a CD gets scratched, what goes on inside you is what I call worrying. Same line you will be repeating. You will not even go to the next line. Constantly repeating the same line inside till you become conscious and aware. Enter into your own life and try to bring down the TPS. The life will be fate and fatal. If you work on bringing the TPS down, future is your conscious choice. It's in your hands. Trying to bring the TPS down is the purpose of all meditation techniques, the whole spirituality, the essence of the inner science. When you bring the TPS down, you escape into life. You see, even the presence of an enlightened master, why it is so important? You are in 100 TPS means he is in 0 TPS. When you come near a being who is in 0 TPS, suddenly your TPS drops. Fortunately, his TPS does not go up. Because fortunately, somehow once it becomes 0, there is no reason it can go up. There is no seed or samskara. It can go up. He is saved. Whenever you come near a person, being, who lives in 0 TPS, automatically your TPS drops. Suddenly it drops. That is the reason we go and sit in the presence of enlightened beings. The presence of enlightened masters does such big miracles. The whole inner science is trying to bring the TPS down. So try to bring the TPS down. This Nitya Dhyan which you did, all of you did, is the technique or the method. I may say the best possible help can happen in your inner space. Understand? A scientist is a person who creates a formula to reproduce the understanding or the product of the outer world. Newton had some understanding about what was happening in the outer world. He saw the apple falling from the tree. Something clicked in him. Of course, if we saw, two things will happen. Either we pick up and eat or forget about it. But something has happened in him. He created a formula to reproduce the same understanding in all of us. The Newton's theory. Scientist is a person who creates a formula to reproduce the understanding or the product of the outer world. Mystic, enlightened being, is a person who creates formula to reproduce the experiences of the inner being, inner science. Enlightened master is a person who creates a formula, meditation technique, to reproduce the same experience which happened to him in the inner world. So Nitya Dhyan is the formula I have created to reproduce the same experience, 0 TPS experience happened in me, in you. Just carry the Nitya Dhyan, you will escape into life. You will escape into life. Now I am open to your questions. You can please put it in paper, piece of paper and hand over. Yes, you can have the cards. I'll answer your questions. If you concentrate your questions on this subject, it will be nice. We can internalize these few things. Yes. Here is a beautiful question. First question. What is the quickest way to get 0 TPS? First thing, drop this idea quickest. That is the way to get to 0 TPS. See, the very hurry or the restlessness to make it quickest, you will be in 100 TPS. Because the very idea that I should, what it means? Already the TPS has started increasing. First thing, see, somebody goes to Ramana Maharshi and asks, Bhagavan, I want peace. Bhagavan says, just drop that I and want, you have peace. So all you need to do is drop this idea, quickest. You are in 0 TPS. Collect all the questions. Hurrying is worrying. Oh, some beautiful question. Explain the chakras. How do you bring awareness to the 7 chakras? It's more like just remember that place, that space, that's all. Nothing else needs to be done. Do not try to exclude other things. Then other things will try to come and sit on you. Just try to remember that space in a very casual, relaxed way. Nothing else is required. That will take care of the bringing awareness to the chakras in a very relaxed way. What is your TPS? Somebody is asking. 0. 0 is the TPS I am living. That's why I am enjoying. That's why I am escaping into life. How do you know if we are seeing the future or not imagining it? Understand, the moment you start seeing the future, you will not even have the doubt whether you are imagining or seeing. As long as you have this doubt whether you are seeing or imagining, you are imagining. If you are seeing, you will not have the doubt whether I am seeing or imagining. The clarity will be so clear. People ask me, Swamiji, how do I know whether I became enlightened or not? I tell them, this question will disappear. As long as you have this question, be very clear, you will not become enlightened. Still, you have to work. When you really see the future, the question and the doubt will disappear. How does one integrate envisioning a specific future they want to manifest with 0 TPS? Oh, this is a beautiful question. How does one integrate envisioning the specific future they want to manifest with 0 TPS? Actually, in the 0 TPS, instead of you planning, you will let the cosmos to plan for you. And understand, the cosmos is really intelligent than you. That's the only thing you need to understand. And it will surely plan much better than you, for you. So, I don't think you will be able to plan or create a specific future in 0 TPS. So in 0 TPS, you will not even bother to do all that. And there won't be any specific future. If you have a specific future, it can't be 0 TPS. In 0 TPS, just it will be fun. All you know is best thing is happening to you. See, we have a beautiful word in Sanskrit, Shiva. The Sanskrit word Shiva means causeless, intense auspiciousness. You can look at the life in two ways. One, whatever is happening to you is the best thing which can happen to you. Or whatever is happening to you is less than your qualification. One kind of looking into the life, I think little more could have happened to me. I am qualified for much better things. Or no, best thing can happen to me is happening. You can look at the life from both ways. You see, even if what others thinks as a best thing, even if that happens to you, you can always complain. Find some complaint. You can always find some complaint. A small story. One guy, he had some heart problems. Fortunately or unfortunately, he won $100 million in a lottery. Wife is afraid to tell this news, information to the husband. She is afraid that he may suddenly get a heart attack and die. Because the shock will be too much. 100 million is too much. He has never seen 1 million in his life. 100 million may take away his life. So she approached the local priest, asked the priest, "Can you help me?" The local priest said, "Don't bother, I know your husband for last 25 years. I'll talk to him and see that the message is conveyed to him without giving a shock." He goes to the person, slowly starts talking. "I think you are going to have a good fortune." That guy said, no, forget about it. My whole life I lived. Nothing, no good thing happens in my life. He said, no. Priest said, "I had a dream, God appeared and he told me you are going to have some good fortune." This guy said, "Maybe he told you, but he has not told me, so forget about it." But the priest said, no, if God tells, he will do. The priest started asking, "If you win $100 million in the lottery, what will you do?" The guy replied, "100 million, I'll give half of it to your church." The priest fell and died. Understand? The priest just fell and died. Sometimes even the most auspicious thing can be inauspicious for you. What you think as auspicious can be inauspicious. People look at the life. You can look at the life in two different ways. The best thing which can happen to you is happening, or no, it's not. If you start seeing the life, the best thing is happening to me, you are experiencing the consciousness of Shiva. The causeless, intense auspiciousness. That's the exact translation of the word Shiva. If you translate that Sanskrit word into English, the meaning is, Shiva does not mean, of course the name was used for a god, but the Sanskrit translation of that word is causeless, intense auspiciousness. When you touch the zero TPS, you will realize life is just causeless, intense auspiciousness. So you will not have specific future for you to envision. You will know the future by the cosmos is the best thing which can happen to me. It can, you see, if you envision a specific future, it will be the reproduction of your past, and you know what is your past. Why do you want to disturb your future? At least leave it for somebody else to plan. Anyhow, so zero TPS will give you, instead of giving you power, it will give you intelligence. It will give you intelligence to live your future beautifully without bothering about it. I often meditate for a few months and stop. It means you are an intelligent person. No, really, no intelligent person can practice any technique continuously. I have seen. See, in last 4.5 years of my public life, my mission, 1.2 million seekers I have initiated. I have initiated 1.2 million seekers. Always they come back and tell me this. And I tell them, means the technique is working on you. Meditation is given to you not to practice continuously, to make you understand you can't practice continuously. At one point, it drops. You can't. If you are practicing continuously, be very clear, you made it as a ritual. You are comfortable with it. It is not technique. It is dangerous for you. At one point, technique has to drop. It will drop. Do any technique intensely, it will drop in few months. You will not feel it is tasty. Then start doing something else which gives you which opens new door. Nothing wrong. You dropping some technique or some master after a few months or a year, nothing wrong. Understand, do not carry a guilt. Do not carry guilt. People ask me, that is a big question in the West among the seekers. Can I go to some other masters and learn? When I initiate the people, first question they ask, FAQs. I tell them, go to as many gardens as possible and pluck all best flowers and make a bouquet for you. What for? Masters are here to enrich you. It's not like a shop. If you come to my shop, don't go to other shop. No. It's not a shop. Pluck flowers from all gardens and enrich your life. One more thing, your ego is such, if you learn from 1,000 sources itself, it won't die. How do you expect it will die learning from one source? And one more thing, if you work with a master 1 or 2 years, you will know, now you will make out all techniques to escape from him. Your mind is very intelligent, not intelligent, cunning. You will know now how to survive with that master. You have mastered him. You have mastered the master. So nothing wrong. Learn from as many ways as possible. You will see every master enriches you and leads you to next step. Leads you to next step. The next level. What is the best way to create a consistent practice and stay with it? I am saying no. Do not create a consistent practice and stay with it. It's a method of dullness. Method to dullness. No. You should be able to update yourself. And one more thing. Any technique designed by enlightened being, after some time, either you will lose taste for it or the technique itself will get updated itself. It will not be same. When you change, technique will change. When you are transformed, the technique will also just get transformed. You will suddenly see you may be doing the same system, but the technique will not be same. Suddenly you are updating yourself. So trust your heart, trust your intelligence and go behind it. That is the best thing. That's the best thing. Understand, trust your intelligence. Your intelligence is intelligent enough to show you, take you to the right master, right technique and constantly update you, upgrade you. Your heart is much more powerful than any guru or master or technique you find in the outer world. Understand that. Trust your heart. It is much more powerful, much more intelligent than any master or any technique which you find in the outer world. People ask me, should I remember you constantly? I tell them no. No. If you can't forget, as long as you can't forget me, I am your master. The moment you are able to forget me, forget about it, continue your journey. I am not your master. I have added whatever juice I can add to you. Now it is your time. Carry on. And see, your heart is so powerful, it will feel completely connected to that person or to the technique as long as you need to internalize some juice from him or from the technique. Once you received whatever you need to, once you are empowered by the juice or the energy from that master or from the technique, your heart is powerful enough to guide you further. Go with it. Don't carry guilt. Only one thing, do not go to a person who says don't go to others. That's all. That's all. Be very, very clear. Have the freedom. One more thing, when you stop seeking or updating yourself, you are dead. Let that not happen to you. If you have 0 TPS, are you enlightened? Of course, I am. Whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you understand it or not, it is up to you, but I am. And one more thing I want to tell you, whether you believe it or not, accept it or not, realize it or not, you are also enlightened. That's the truth. Only two things. You can just accept and enjoy that you are enlightened. You may think that no, I am not, I don't think I am, and suffer. It's your choice. I decided to live my luxurious enlightenment. That's all, nothing else. And it's your freedom, you can also decide to live. See, actually, when I say, just day before yesterday we had the celebration in our ashram, my first experience day, the Buddha Purnima day, the first experience of enlightenment in my life. When I say that I became enlightened on that day, first I had my first experience of enlightenment, I don't even want you to understand that something has happened to me. I have just decided I'll express my enlightenment. A very clear conscious decision. That's all. That's all you need, nothing else. If you have some standard or frame for enlightenment, you will be struggling with it till your end. You will never end. Just relax from the frame and start living luxuriously with the clarity. You are enlightened. That's all you need. How do I overcome jealousy? See, jealous stops your productivity. If you understand that, if you are jealous, you will be jealous of only your neighbor or the person. You see, for example, if you are having $1 million, you will be jealous of person who is having 100 million. Not 100 billion. Do not be jealous of 100 million. There is a possibility you may become a billionaire. By being jealous of 100 million, you will work only for 100 million. You will stop your vision. You will stop your vision. Your productivity is curtailed. If you understand your productivity is destroyed by your jealous, simply the jealous will drop. You think unconsciously, you believe you will become more productive by being jealous. That is why you encourage, put more energy into jealousy. No. You are not enriched or no juice is added into you by being jealous. Without much thoughts, how to manage our future? How can we plan our future? One more thing. Without much thoughts, you will have the straight clarity of what will do, what will happen. What is your part in your future? With too much of thoughts, you will put your head in the places where you can't do any change. See, all your plans, just if you see, all your plans, you are trying to struggle or fight with the walls. You are trying to hit the walls which you can't change. For example, if you know something can be done, you never sit and plan about that. Do you? No. You sit and plan only about the things which you can't do. Means constant fighting. You are planning about future. Your future is nothing but a constant struggle and fight. Unless you have some fight, you don't feel comfortable. If you don't have anything to worry, you feel you are lonely. Something is missing. Something is missing in you. So all your plan about your future is nothing but destroying your future. You are planning wrong things. You are working with the things which you really can't do anything much about it. So if you stop planning what you are thinking as planning now, the real plan will emerge out of you. See, the real plan will just emerge out of you. It never happens by your thinking. If it can happen by your thinking, then all the people who are thinking would have done so many great things. No. All great things are done in the small gaps which happens between your thoughts. All great inventions comes out only in that gap of 0 TPS, which rarely happens in you. If it happens by accident, you become great by 1 or 2 inventions. If it is constantly happening, you just live in that greatness. If it happens few times in your life, you achieve the status. If it happens constantly in your life, you achieve the state. Status is achieved by the 0 TPS happening a few times. State is achieved by 0 TPS happening continuously. How long I can go on? Okay. My identity is gone. Now what? You will not have this question. As long as you have this question, the identity is not gone. Do you have time? Thank you. Thank you for Excel Studio. Let's give a good clap for their arrangement, making it possible. So we have some more time. How does future, past, future? Oh God, I am not able to read. I am not able to read. Maybe the person who put the question can read and tell me. Before that, a small story about this reading. There was an advertisement in the local newspaper. We need somebody who can read and write French. One guy applied, he said, I can write but I can't read. The manager was surprised. He can write but not read. Let me see this guy. He called him for interview and gave a paper, please write. That guy start writing the French. Manager picked up the paper and he couldn't read. He said, no, better you yourself read what you wrote. That guy said, I told you, I can only write, I can't read. I think that kind of a letter. Maybe I will read the first few words. How does future, past, future? And the next word I am not able to read. Who put the question? You can read it and tell me. Can you read? Can you tell me what's the question? Oh, you are asking how these two relates, connects. That's a nice question. Understand, the identity which you carry in the inner world will be the majority past. Major chunk of it will be past. Your past experiences, your past memories, that only you carry and have an idea about you. And the identity which you project to the outer world will be always future, your project plans. So the major chunk will be future. Jumping between these two can be correlated to jumping between to the inner and outer. But it's not that complete inner will be only about past. There will be little future, there will be little past in the outer also, but the major chunk will be past based and future based. And fight between these two is your mind. Are you saying more we think of past, less likely you will have zero thought process? How to forget past? It's like a vicious circle. More past, more TPS. Less past, less TPS. Instead of being caught in the vicious circle, start getting caught in the virtuous circle. Start putting your more energy into reducing the TPS, then naturally less past. That's all. Then less past, less TPS. TPS, less past. Over. Just turn the cycle. Instead of the vicious circle, turn it into virtuous circle. How do I unclutch? There is nothing like a how do I, just unclutch, that's all. Maybe I can tell a small story. You will understand unclutching. Sometime your husband or wife disturbs you. Not sometime, as usual. When you are disturbed, you are sitting in your living room. You can either it has happened, you did it, or it has been done to you. You can always see. She is sitting, you are shouting. Tell me now, what should I do? You shout. At least tell now, what should I do? I'll do that. Keeping quiet won't work. Give me some word. Tell something. I'll do that. Whatever you want. Whatever you may shout, you will not get any reply. You can see in your life, sometimes you also do the same thing. Because even if you utter a single word, the whole fight will start again. From one word, the whole thing can be again developed. What you do in your living room couch sitting and not responding to any thought which comes, that is what is unclutching. What you do to your spouse, do the same thing to your mind. That's all. See, now everyone can understand unclutching. Now I tried to explain unclutching through various great philosophies and theories. Nothing, nobody is able to understand. This one example everybody understands. Because either you did it or it has been done to you. Just all you need to remember is what you do to your spouse when you are really unconnected. Do the same thing with your mind. You are unclutched. There is one more question. How can you reduce TPS on your job? Whether you are in job or out, TPS can be reduced just by bringing yourself to the present moment. In job, you have to bring yourself to the present moment. Your job can be a beautiful technique to reduce the TPS. You will become more productive. I think there are so many questions which are repetitive, like how do you prepare for the future while remaining in the present? When you are in the present, you don't need to prepare. Your presence will prepare for the future. Only problem is, you are never allowed to trust you that you have so much intelligence to live your future. You are always made to live in fear that you have to plan, and you miss the whole thing. And you all know that, you see, you have done so much of planning. What we have done with our life, except messing up. So at least, let us allow somebody else who is better planner, who is planning for this whole cosmos. How do you know you achieved 0 TPS? Just because I am living in that, that's all. All the doubts will disappear, whether you achieved 0 TPS or not. If one has achieved 0 TPS, how can one see the future if that vision itself is a thought? Vision is not thought. It will not be thought. It will neither be thought nor thoughtlessness. It is beyond both. It is just happening. It is just happening. Enlightenment is not again a noun, it is a verb. It is just happening. Intense happening. I always tell people, enlightenment is ultimate experience but not final. Understand, ultimate happening every moment is enlightenment. Final means something like it stops. No. It's a constant ultimate happening. Suddenly one new door opens and when you say, God, such big, then again next thing opens. Constantly the ultimate is happening in you is enlightenment. It's a beyond You are thinking or no thinking. I have seen your studies show heightened brain activity from meditation. Is this somehow the result of lower TPS? Yes, 0 TPS. How can we purchase a CD of the meditation we just did? It is called Nithyananda. I think they may make it available. Is it available? It's available in the Live Bliss Gallery. And if you want to download, you can download from our website also. In the website also it is available. You can download and practice. How does alcohol affect our ability to lower TPS? See, with alcohol, your conscious decision to relax into present moment disappears. That is why you are just jumping without even aware that you are jumping between past and future. No alcohol, no drug, anything which can go from outside to inside cannot bring you to 0 TPS. No drug, no alcohol, no machine can give you 0 TPS except your conscious decision. Somebody is asking, can I conduct a short taped interview with you for my film while you are here in town? Maybe you can ask and come to ashram. Who is that person who put the question? Yes, please ask him. Shiv, you can talk to him, and I will be here till June 29th. Before that you can come and spend some time. How do we live closer to our connection to God and nature and 0 TPS when we have emotions? There is no how. Just bring yourself inside your boundary. That's all. See, your emotions are nothing but high TPS. And bring yourself down. There is no how. The moment you ask how, you are asking for some technique. And if I give the technique, you will ask again how to do the technique. Then if I tell you how to do the technique, you will ask again how to do the technique to do the technique. And it will just be a fun going on and never things will happen. Just decide, that's all. Be a little more intelligent and make a conscious decision. Over. Is it possible to fool yourself into thinking you have reached 0 TPS or enlightened? You can't fool yourself. You see, your mind is a system put in your head, put inside you to remind you that you are not enlightened. See, your spouse is sent in your life to teach you so many things. Same way, your mind is put into your system to tell you that you are not enlightened till you are not become enlightened. Only when you don't have that question that you become enlightened. I have seen many people who fool around, telling others that they become enlightened, but they themselves can't believe that they are enlightened. So when you can really honestly believe yourself that you are enlightened, then you are enlightened. No, don't bother anything about anything else. You can't fool around. You can cheat others, not yourself. That's a great thing. God has put himself inside you to remind you till you are not enlightened. There is an automatic intelligence. Can you talk about love and how to dwell in that state? In that as that. Again, the same thing, everything boils down to the 0 TPS. The 0 TPS, you will accept you as you are because you will not have an idea about you based on your past. When you accept you as you are, you will accept everybody as they are. That's all. As long as you accept as you are, you will not be able to accept others as they are. Is it okay to fluctuate between 0 to 100? Nothing wrong. If you enjoy fluctuation, just enjoy. That's all. If you start enjoying the fluctuation, you will suddenly drop to 0 TPS. That's the beauty. See, if you don't even bother to bring you to 0 and just start enjoying wherever you are, suddenly you see you are in 0. Joy and the sudden shocks brings you to 0. That's why Zen masters use the sudden techniques to bring you to 0. Anything sudden or joy can bring you to 0. Why do we only get glimpses of 0 TPS? Why can't we stay there? I should ask you, why don't you stay there? It's not that you will ask me, why can't we stay there? Who is asking you not to stay there? So I should ask you, why can't you stay there? How can I uncover and identify my life's purpose? Come down. Come down. You will see your future and life's purpose, that's all. I tell you, actually life has no purpose. It has got meaning, that's all, but no purpose. Purposelessness is the beauty of life. Because anything you keep it as your purpose, much more has been achieved by so many people. What else is there? There is nothing big purpose. There is a meaning, beauty. That's the beauty of life. Speak about unconditional love. As long as you have the word unconditional, it will be one more condition. Now, unconditional love will become one more condition. So, there is nothing like a conditioned or unconditioned. Just start living. You will suddenly start seeing that others are telling that you are a loving and unconditional loving person. You yourself cannot plan unconditional love and start executing it. There is no project plan for unconditional love. Project plan, deadline, achieving, all these things does not happen in the language of unconditional love. Just forget about unconditional love, it will happen to you, that's all. Can one person stay continuously at 0 TPS and how will he react? He will never react, he will just radiate. Yes, you can stay in unconditional love. How does one bring together the inner and outer identities? Again, 0 TPS, that's all. What about those of us that have a chemical imbalance in our body? There is nothing like a chemical imbalance. As far as I know, there is only one thing, mental imbalance. If the mental imbalance is balanced, chemical imbalance just automatically happens. Because your chemical imbalance is nothing but the echo of the mental imbalance. Just relax into 0 TPS. Suddenly you will see you create a new body. New body to live for yourself. Nithyananda ji, thank you for the clarity. Now, as we live on outside, TPS builds to do this, to do that, how to keep in control. See, when you do this, do this. When you do that, do that. TPS is down, that's all. Why do you bother about how to do this and how to do that? When you do this, do this. When you do that, do that. Over. You have a 0 TPS. Only when you worry how to do this and how to do that, you have high TPS. Just have fun in life, you will have 0 TPS, that's all. Nothing much. How did you know you were enlightened? Just I know, that's all. There is no such thing as how did you know. There is no need for any proof. Fortunately, enlightened beings are not selected by voting. So just you know that you are enlightened. Can I manipulate or create my own future? You can think you are manipulating or creating, but you can't manipulate it actually. The truth is, you can think and you can even have some references. Yes, I did visualize and it happened, and this so many positive thinking, so many envisioning or expressing your future, so many things are going on. Somehow I don't know. At least according to my enlightenment, or according to the enlightened beings whom I met, with whom I had my encounter, with my experience, you cannot manipulate anything. The more you try to think of manipulating, you just get manipulated, and you just start imagining you are manipulated, that's all. Otherwise the manipulation itself is not possible. So that is why so many positive thinking, expressing your future and all those things, even though I read and see all those things, I am not able to believe, I am not able to think that you can manipulate your future. If you drop the TPS, maybe the right thing will start happening, expressing through you. You will have the intelligence to update your future. That's all. How do you do the work but relax into life? Again, the same thing. Just be the zero TPS, just be inside your skin. Work is done. The location of Muladhara Chakra is different for women and men. No, it is same. The root of the spinal cord, that's the same. Of course, if your spinal cord itself has got some problem, then then it may be. Where do you go when you meditate? Nowhere. Just you are here. The enlightened masters perform miracles, or is being enlightened just a peaceful state of mind? See, they do not perform miracles. Sometimes miracles happens around them. Anything performed is a duty. Anything happens only is miracle. Anything done is a work. It can't be called as miracle. Anything happens only can be called as miracle. So, something extraordinary, what you think as miracle happening is nothing to do with enlightenment. Sometimes it may happen, express around them. Sometimes it may not express. It is just, many times people come and ask me, especially when they hear from other devotees, Swamiji materialized and gave me this, Swamiji did that to me. These guys come and ask me, Swamiji give for me also. I tell them, I don't know, it is not in my control. If it needs, it just comes out. If it needs, it does not. It's not in my control. If it is my control, we would have made long before a shop, enlightenment shop, miracle shop. It is not in anybody's control. If it needs, just it expresses. If it needs, that's all. So it is not in my control. It's not that I possess enlightenment. Enlightenment is possessing me. Understand? If I am possessing enlightenment, I can manipulate it. Just like a showcase. And I can keep it whenever I want, I can do whatever I want out of it. I can cook and feed, I can do some these, that, all those dramas. It's not I am possessing enlightenment. Enlightenment is possessing me. So, enlightened beings cannot perform miracles. Many miracles may happen in their presence. See, when for example, maybe sometime when the person will be helped towards the enlightenment or he will be inspired, maybe some extraordinary things which is not according to your logic may express. It may happen, maybe to inspire, but I don't think it can be performed. Many people come and ask me, we received vibhuti, that holy ash from your photo, kumkum came out of your photo. I tell them, oh, that's nice. If I myself want vibhuti, I have to go to my box. You can get from my photo, but I myself, if I want, I have to go to my box. So it is just, I tell them, it is not because of me, it is because of you. I am like a river. If you come with a coconut shell, this small size vessel, you can carry me in that much. If you come with a big vessel, you can carry that much. If you come with a big container, you can carry that much. If you are intelligent, you can make a connection, canal between you and me. That's all. I am like a river. Miracles happens because of you, not because of me. Because of your trust and faith, feeling connected, miracles happen, and it's not done by me. So, miracles are not qualifications of enlightened master. It may happen, may not happen. So, there is possibility. People who are doing miracles may not be enlightened. People who are enlightened may not be doing miracles. So, it is no way it can be connected with each other. Just it depends on every individual how we respond to that individual. That's all. Will you discuss free will versus destiny? I think I have discussed. As long as you are sitting with the same record, you are with the destiny. If you are conscious enough to decide and reduce the zero TPS, you have free will. Since we are already enlightened, why bother with a meditation or a master. That's good. If you are very clear, you are all enlightened, then no need. Whoever is very clear, no doubt inside you that you are enlightened, you don't need master, you don't need meditation. Just relax and enjoy. I am rid of 1%. One less headache for me. What advice do you have for parents of small children? Only one request. Do not be jealous of them. Do not reproduce yourself on them. That's all. Sometimes you can't tolerate the joy which they are expressing. When they are shouting, singing, jumping, you say, keep quiet. Who asked you to write on this wall? Sit in a corner. Just don't do that. That's enough. You don't need to teach anything to them. Just respect them. They are your guests who came down to your home, trusting you will respect them. That's all we need to do. I heard you are planning for a temple in Los Angeles. When there are so many temples already, why do you want one more? This is a nice question. Understand, what's the population of Los Angeles? 10 million. 10 million. For example, if you just take the 10 million, 1% people are interested in the Vedic tradition or the temple. What is the 1%? 100,000. 100,000 is 1% in 10 million. 100,000. You see, just 100,000 people, if they wanted to go to a temple once in a week, only once a week, not even every day. 100,000 people want to go to a temple only once in a week, weekend. Do we have enough temple to support 100,000 people in LA? No. We need at least 100 more. Understand? Understand, I have come to complement, not to contradict. I have come to fulfill, not to compete. Understand? We have just 1%. If 1% people decide they want to go to temples, they want to go to some Vedic places, do we have infrastructure? Maybe we will having some 25 temples in Los Angeles. 25 is okay, doctor? 25 temples maybe. Can these 25 temples accommodate all 100,000? No. 100,000 if you divide by 25, how much it goes? 4,000. Can a weekend, can any one temple accommodate 4,000 people? No. Then we need at least 100 more. Please come and start one more in your home. I want you to start some more temples because so much of demand is there. See, when so much demand is there, create more and more supply. It's our responsibility. And 1% is not a too big number. I am not talking something like impractical. And the statistics says 25 million Americans in America, 25 million people practice some form of the Vedic tradition. 25 million. Some form of yoga, puja, meditation or homa, something. 25 million means how many percentage of the US population? 15%. 10% of people are already practicing. I am not even thinking of 10%. I am aiming at only 1%. If they want to visit, go to a place to sit, to see puja or meditate or feel connected to this Vedic tradition. We don't have infrastructures. So understand, I have come only to complement, not to compete. I have come to support and not to compete. So we need more and more temples to support the need, the demand. Thank you. How do we change the future so that it is as possible as it can be with a little problem. Oh. Understand, as long as you are thinking even the little problem, you have some TPS, nothing can be done about it. You will create more problem. Same kind of questions, if you can intervene to change your future, where does destiny or your blueprint for life figure into this? There is no blueprint or destiny. How can I get off the mind track, obsessive feeling of jealous that caused my TPS to go up very high? I don't think the jealous raises your TPS. Your TPS high brings jealous. When your TPS is high, you need some emotion, so you catch some problem. If you don't have something, you start searching for it. Do you see different visions of our future? Oh God. No. I don't see any vision. I am relaxed. When you are escaping into life, what are you escaping from? You are not escaping from anything. You are escaping from escaping idea. Escape from the idea of escaping, you are escaping into the right thing. I always tell people, if you are liberated from the idea of liberation, you are liberated. Same, the questions which I already answered while doing Nitya Dhyan, how to bring the TPS down. I came to see your face. I know if this is another Indian, oh sorry, some Deshi, but your smile tells me who you are. Love from Babaji. Oh, that's nice. Some love letter, thank you. And here is a beautiful question, which I don't have to answer, empty paper. I think we are done. Just these two. How can you help children who have a mental issue achieve zero TPS and enjoy life? First, they should be healed. Maybe you can bring them to ashram. I will try to help them. How about when we are sleeping? When you are sleeping, you don't have zero TPS. Be very clear. Even while you are sleeping, in the dreams there is a TPS, and even if you are in a deep sleep, it's not zero TPS. It's called like the seeds which are creating thoughts in you are black. They are not dead. So even in sleeping, you are not in zero TPS. So let you all understand these great truths, achieve and radiate the life in zero TPS, escape into life. Let you all achieve and radiate eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you.